Hello, Ralph Davella back. Today we're up to lesson number 6 for the complete beginner method. And so we're gonna, if you have the book, we're gonna turn to lesson 6, and we're gonna play lesson 6 together. Now at the end of lesson 6, there's a review of what we learned in the first 6 lessons. So if you don't have the book, that's okay, because I'm gonna show you page for page, what we're gonna do. So let's get started with lesson 6. Alright, so here in lesson 6, page 22 of the book, read everything like you always do, even though you're starting to, you probably have a lot of this stuff in your head by this point. But so lesson 6, it will tell you, it adds 2 new studies. One is called the chromatics down. The second one is called the fermata. The developing scale studies continue to ascend, which we've been playing, and the 6-note exercise is now played 3 beats for each note, which is a little bit longer than we've been playing it. So the first exercise for 6A is the lip buzz. So for, like always, the first thing we do is we do the lip buzz. So read everything, form the embouchure, this way you don't forget. You say 2, blow burst of air. It's like you're spitting, saying 2, and this is just to bring blood flow to the lips. So let's do number 1, which is the lip buzz. We're gonna do all these exercises together. And so the first thing we're gonna do is the lip buzz. Like I say, I really don't care what note is you're buzzing on the lips. We just want to get a little blood circulating. So let's do a lip buzz. Hold it 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, and then 2 beats, and then rest 4 beats and repeat it. So let's do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so you can hear we're literally saying 2, 2, 2, 2, almost like a spit. Okay, so that's that first exercise. The second exercise is going to be on the mouthpiece, and the third exercise is going to be on the mouthpiece. So let's do exercise 6B now that you see up there. I do it on the mouthpiece. I like to try to get the G on the trumpet, and then try to play, that pitch on it. But it doesn't have to be, as long as you're buzzing on the mouthpiece. So form the embouchure. Make sure you read everything, and let's do the mouthpiece buzz next. One, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, that's that exercise. Alright, now we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to do the siren exercise, which is the next exercise and the last exercise we do on the mouthpiece. Then we get to the trumpet. So let's do exercise 6C. Let me set it up on the screen for you. Alright, let's do the siren exercise like always. Make sure you read everything first, even though you're starting to have it in your memory what you have to do, just to reinforce everything. And again, on the siren exercise, we're just trying to make it sound like a siren. Pitch goes from one point, goes up, goes back down. Let's do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can try to make it go higher, make it go lower. Let's try it. I went a little higher and lower. You can do whatever is comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be a lot, as long as the pitch does move up and down. So follow that right to the end. You can do it on your own. And so that's the end of the of that beginning warm-up. Now let's go to playing on the trumpet. This is probably, like I say in the past videos, this is a staple exercise, one that we're going to be doing. And we keep developing it to the point where we get to what's, I guess I'll say, the real 6 notes, the Carmine Caruso 6 notes. We're working our way to that point. And okay, we're going to play the 6 notes 4 beats a piece. Like I think I mentioned before, we're going to do them 3 beats. Well, we're going to do 4 beats. So we're going to hold it 4 beats, rest 4 beats, and we're going to continue up chromatically to the C. Now, you all the notes are written out, are written out for you, and it tells you, if you look at it, if you look at the note on the bottom of the page, the G open position, then it tells you G sharp, second and third valve, and so on. So you just follow that. Make sure you read everything first. It's important when you put this thing on when you put the trumpet onto your face, play as far as you can without moving the setting on your lips. And you want to keep your corners of your mouth a little bit firm, not real hard, but you can tell just a little firm. And you want to hold it that way even during your rest. That's giving you a good exercise to develop the muscles. So let's do the 6 notes, holding them 4 beats apiece. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Two, three, 4. Now we're going to want to do that twice. And actually, if you're watching me play it, I'm probably not giving you a good example. I'm counting, but you need to keep the mouthpiece in place, corners firm, and most importantly, which I probably didn't mention the first time, the breathing through your nose on those 4 beats rest. Don't move your mouth, don't breathe in through your mouth. First time, first note you play, you can take your breath in through the corners of your mouth, but after that, you're breathing in through your nose, keeping this firm, and that's working the muscles. So you're going to play it once through to the C, rest the 4 beats, and then go back to the G and play the whole thing twice. So eventually you'll be able to play it twice without taking it off, removing the trumpet from your lips. So that's the goal we're trying to reach. Doesn't matter if you can do it now or if you can do it 3 weeks from now or a month from now, whatever. But that's the goal we're getting. We're building the muscles. Alright, so that's the 6 notes. Never skip the 6 notes, always play those. And now let's go to the next exercise. Let me put that up on the screen. Oh, and by the way, you might see some writing in the corner of the sheet. That's because I just copied the pages out of the book. This way I can get them flat so you can see them. Alright, let's go to the next exercise. Exercise 6E, to chromatics down to the low C. Alright, let's do the chromatics down together. Like always, let's read everything. You know, how you take your breath and how we're getting the rules to play this, because it's important, the rules on how to play it. That's what develops the muscles and the timing. So we're going to start on of each of the notes that we play. We say 2 to start the note, and then we slur down to the next note, which is that line that connects the C right there. You'll see it on the line that connects the 2 notes. That just means to keep blowing. Don't use the tongue. Don't say 2 in the next note. You can think 2 2 2 So the 2 is tongue. The next note is just push the valve down and let the air keep blowing. And we do that always down to the low C. So again, tells you what note, tells you how to finger the note, and so you study that and you'll be okay. You eventually get it completely into your memory. Alright, so let's start with the G. Again, when we start this, we don't take it off until the exercise is completed. 2, 3. Okay, so that's an exercise. We're going to rest about a minute, and then we're going to go to exercise 6F, which is below that. And you see that little, you see the note where it says ta. Now above that, you'll see this like little half circle with a dot in it. That's called a fermata. When you see a fermata above a note, that means that you hold the note out for as long as you want, or as long as the conductor wants you to hold it out for. So we're calling this the fermata exercise, but again, this is an exercise that I want you, that's going to help develop your all your muscles and your armature and the way you play. So let's hold that C out for us. According to the instructions, the way I want you to do it, you hold it as long as you can, and you do it one more time and hold it as long as you can. So we'll just do that one for a few seconds. Let's just so you play it. So normally that C you see there below that line, there's no line attached to it, nothing. It's just the open note there. That's held for 4 beats. But because the fermata is above it, we're going to hold it for as long as you want to hold it. In this case, basically until you run out of air. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Actually, you're going to leave it on. You're breathing through your nose and do it again. So I want you to do it twice. Now don't hold it until you pass out and fall on the floor. Just hold the note until basically you feel as though you're not comfortable anymore. So no need to push it any farther than that. And sometimes when you play, like even then when I was playing it, and I'm used to playing it, you'll hear the notes start to shake a little bit. That's actually a good thing, because that's your lips trying to get into a good position to play that note. And your muscles are sometimes a little fatigued too. So it's okay if the note quivers a little bit. It's actually good. Alright, so that's exercise 6F, the fermata. And let's move on from there now. The developing scales exercise. This is the next exercise. Let me get it up myself so I can see it. Here it is. Exercise 6G, the developing scales. Again, just read before you play it. And I guess if you read word and write the second sentence down or third sentence down, only tongue the first note of each group of notes and then slur the rest. So that's what that line is doing, is connecting 2 notes. So you're going to tongue the first note and keep the air going, just push the valves down for the second note. Let's play the first 3 or 4 lines together, and then you can, work on developing so you can actually do the whole thing yourself. But it can take some time because you have to be real familiar with the notes and the fingerings. But as you play it, that will happen. Oh, let's do the first 1, 2, 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then it goes to 5 notes all at once. Then the next line goes to 6 notes, and eventually it goes up a whole scale, which is the line before the last line. That's the whole C scale actually. And then on the last line I go above the C scale, always up to the D, which is called the ninth. The ninth of the scale, 1 note above the top note of the scale. And so that's your exercise. You work on that. Take a little time, but that's a good exercise. And again, when you play the first note, try to, let's say you're working on the second line there. You can work on these lines individually, or if you're doing well, you can just keep it on and just keep playing it without taking it off. But let's go to the third line and you're working on that. You're going to tongue the first note to C, and you're just going to push the fingers down and continue stream of air to get up to the F. Then again, when you go back down to the C, you tongue it. So you know how to do the slur now, and that's the slur. That's the develop skill exercise. After that, we're going to do a review of the first 6 lessons in this book. So let's review them and see all the stuff that we learned so far. You may not realize how much you learned. Let's look at that now. Let me put it up on the screen. So this is just a page and a half to review, so it's not going to take too long. And I don't want to, never want to try to bore anybody. I do the best I can not to. But in this case, we got to do a little reading. So let's read it together. Number 1, we learned how to create a lip buzz, as you know. Number 2, we learned how to buzz the mouthpiece. Number 3, we learned how to form the embouchure and produce a sound on the trumpet. Number 4, all the natural notes from the C below the staff up to the D on the 4th line of the staff. So maybe we might have it in our head. If we don't have it in our head yet, that's okay. Tongue the notes by using the syllable T. That's number 5. Or syllable 2. And then number 6 is the slur line. That means tongue the first note and slur the rest of the notes, as we just did in lesson 6. We tongue the first note, continue the ear, push the vowels down, and produce the second note without tonguing the second note. Number 7, the double lines with the 2 dots means to repeat the measures between the repeat lines. Alright, so let's go from the number 7 and let's look down here. Let me make sure it's on the screen. Yep. So you see the double lines with the 2 dots after it? That means we play from here to where you see the 2 that are facing the opposite direction, and we go back to here, and that's the repeat. So that's number 7. The double lines with 2 dots means to repeat the measures between them, the repeat lines. Number 8, 1 beat rest symbol. The wiggly line running up or down in the measure. That's the 1 beat rest signal. Now again, let's go down to here. You see the wiggly line? That's a 1 beat rest. And here's another beat, 1 beat rest. So we're going to rest 1 beat because it says to do it again. You rest again. And here's a quarter note, and then a quarter note rest. And then this is a half note rest, which touches that line right there. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4th line touches the bottom of the 4th line. Now, if that was on the touching the bottom of the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, touching the top of the 4th line. Not to get confusing, but that it means a 4 beat rest. So that's a 4 beat rest as opposed to a 2 beat rest, as opposed to a 1 beat rest. They're your rest. So number 9, 2 beat rest sign. We just went over. That's the 2 sitting on the 4th line. 2 beat rest sign. Number 10, 4 beat rest that we just did. It's touching the top of that 4th line. So that's the 4 beat rest. All right. Let's see, number 11, quarter note rest, solid black note with a stem. Oh, quarter note, not a quarter note rest. Quarter note, solid black note with a stem, right there. Quarter note, solid black note with a stem. That's a quarter note, which equals 1 beat. Now, we learned all this already, so we're just reviewing everything. All right, so then the half note, a note with a stem, has a hole in it. Means to hold the note for 2 beats. See, right down here, it tells you half note. Everything's coordinated, everything makes sense. Half note with the hole in it and the stem, you hold it 2 beats. Alright, quarter note's 1 beat, half note's 2 beats. Alright, number 13, whole note. Note with a hole in it and no stem means hold the note for 4 beats. Alright, note with a hole in it, no stem, you're holding that for 4 beats. Here I got a little math fun, so you're going to have to think, might make you think a little bit, which I'm sure you don't mind. If you're playing the trumpet and doing all this work to learn, I'm sure you're a thinker. Alright, we already know that a quarter note with a dot after it equals 3 beats. Here is how to figure it out doing the math. Let me show you with a pencil and paper how we're going to do this. Alright, so we're going to go back to reading it in a second, but let's draw a half note. 2 beats, right? 1 beat, 2 beats. So we know we hold that half note for 2 beats. Now, if we put a dot after it, what does the dot mean? The dot means to hold the half note for the 2 beats, and then add half of the value of that note. So what's the value of that note? 2 beats, 1, 2. What's half the value of that note? To get half the value of 2 beats, you have to divide. So half of 2 is 1, because we know 1 plus 1 is 2. So half of 2 is 1. So that dot adds half the value of 2 beats. Half the value is 1. So that becomes 2 plus 1 equal 3 beats. So now instead of holding that half note for 2 beats, we're going to hold it for 3 beats because the dot adds half the value to it. Alright, so you see a half note with a dot after it. You just know in your head that it's 3 beats. You don't have to do any dividing or anything like that after the first initial time that you figure it out. But let's just go over it the first time everyone has written. Now, we already know that the quarter note with a dot after it equals 3 beats. Here's how to figure it out with the math. Note with a dot after it. A dot after a note adds half of the value of the original value of the note. I know it's repetitive, but I think sometimes that's the best way to learn sometimes. So this is what the math tells us. Because we know that half note equals 2 beats, the dot after the half value of the 2 beats is 1. So add 2 plus 1 equals 3 beats. As we just saw, the dot after the half note is 3 beats, which we'll always remember that. We're not going to have to do it this way, but for now, just for fun, let's do it this way. So a dotted half note equals 3 beats. Alright, so that's it for that. Now, the next thing that we learn is a treble clef sign. Let's see, right there is the treble clef sign. That's what your trumpet music is written in what they call treble clef. That's all you have to know for right now as far as that goes. And that's always found at the beginning of the music. And that usually after that, you'll see the time signature, which here says 4 over 4. Don't want to get it complicated for now, but the 4 over 4 means a quarter note. A quarter note gets 1 beat, and there's 4 beats in a measure. So in this case, you'll see there's 4 beats in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, clef sign followed by the key signature. So here's the key signature. Here's the clef sign, and then here's the key signature. Key signature tells you what key you're in. If you don't see any sharps or flats over here, that means you're in the key C. In this case, you see an F sharp, and this is not to get complicated and not really worry about how this works right now. Eventually, we'll understand all that. And but right now you see a F sharp, you're in what they call the key of G. Now that tells you that every time you see an F on the page, you're not going to play a regular plain F, which is first finger. You're going to play an F sharp, which is second finger. What I'm trying to teach you now is that there's such thing as a key signature, and that's your key signature right there. All right, so we've got one more, not even a whole page to review. Let's look at that right now. Right there. Number 18 is the sharp sign, which raises the pitch of the note a half step. See the example below. So here's the example. You got the G, then you got a sharp sign, which raises the pitch a half a step. So the G is a certain pitch, and in the sound of it raises it up. So the pitch goes up, the sound goes up, and that's that. And the next thing is a flat sign, which lowers the pitch. So now we're playing the G, and we see a flat on the next note after that G. So you'll see it's called a G. That's a flat, and that note's a G flat. Flat lowers the pitch of the sound. So if we're playing open, and then we push the second valve down, and that's going to lower the pitch down to a G flat. So the sharp sign raises the pitch, flat sign lowers the pitch. Here's the natural sign, means to play the note in its natural form. There you go, G natural. Sharp makes it higher, flat makes it lower, natural makes it back to its natural sign. I hope I didn't make that too confusing, but that's all to it. Let's see. The fermata sign above the note means to hold the note longer than usual. Let's see here. I didn't put a fermata sign in here, did I? No. I'm going to put one in here. You remember on the other page we had the fermata sign? That means you hold the note for as long as you think it's necessary, or if there's a conductor playing, the conductor will tell you how long to play it for. So you're not going to just play it to one beat, you're going to hold that. Multi-measure rest symbol, which is I think we're looking at for the first time now. Rest for the number of measures shown by the number above the staff. So you know how we had the 4-beat rest right there? You see right there? We had the 4-beat rest. Well, in this case, it's telling you to rest 4 beats 2 times. You see it has solid bar line with these lines on the end with the 2 above it. Sometimes the 2 is right there, but in this case, put it above it. That means you rest for 4 beats and 4 beats. 2 measures of rest. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Then you start playing again. So the tempo sign tells you at what tempo or speed to play the music. So that's right here. You see, quarter note equals 80. Now on the metronome, if you put it on 60, that means there's 1 beat per second. And then if you put it on 80, it's a little more than 1 beat a second. That tells you the tempo of the song. So the higher the number, the faster the song. The lower the number, the slower the song. That's everything actually I wanted you to learn, but let's just look at this one more time because this was very important. You learn to form your embouchure by saying the letter M. M. When you pronounce the M, the lips should touch together and is supported by the corners of the mouth. The corners are also touching together. This skill allows the lips to vibrate when the air is blown through them, which in turn produces the sound on the trumpet. We're just talking about forming the embouchure. So M, now the corners. Okay. The corners come together, a little firm. Not so firm that you can't move it. You should be able to move it, squeeze them a little bit. And the same thing with the lips. The lips are touching, a little pouty. You don't make them so hard that they don't move, or you don't make them so soft that you can move them so easily. So that's the form. M, M, M. So the M puts the lips in the position that they should be in. And the corners also. M, that's what you have to remember. M, and that's your form of the embouchure. I don't think we should talk about the tongue right now, but it goes behind the bottom teeth, and it just stays there for now. And M, M, that's it. Forming that embouchure is very important. We do that every single time we play. Alright, so that was lesson 6. It turned out to be a little long, mainly because we did the review. But take your time at lesson 6 and go over for 2 or 3 weeks. Keep playing it. And we're on our way to becoming a trumpet player. Alright, see you next time.